Hello and welcome to the MLB pregame show on the Coliseum Sports Network. I'm Raymond Sims. We begin fourth round action now, the fourth and final round of regional pool play with this Eastern Region losers bracket matchup between the Miami Marlins and the Detroit Tigers. Now for losers bracket teams, this round gets kind of interesting because losers bracket teams may have to play up to 3 games in this round. There's this game. The winner of this game would move on to face the loser in the winner's bracket game, and then they'd have to play one more game against the final team, the team that hasn't lost throughout the regional pool. So it's 3 games. It could be up to 3 games for a loser's bracket team, but it'll all be one round under full consideration. So today's matchup here is between the Miami Marlins and the Detroit Tigers. The winner of this game will go on to face the Milwaukee Brewers for a spot in the regional championship, and the loser will be eliminated. Today on the mound, we have Rick Cosart for the Miami Marlins, and we have Rick Porcello for the Detroit Tigers, starting in place of Anibal Sanchez, who was recently put on the disabled list. So let's take a look at the starting lineups for both sides. For the Miami Marlins, leading off will be the left fielder, Christian Yelich. Batting second will be the second baseman, Jordany Valdespin. Batting third will be the right fielder, Giancarlo Stanton. Batting fourth will be the third baseman, Casey McGee. Batting fifth will be the first baseman, Garrett Jones. Batting sixth will be the center fielder, Marcell Ozuna. Batting seventh will be the catcher, Jared Saltalamacchia. Batting eighth will be the designated hitter, Reed Johnson. And batting ninth will be the shortstop, Adeiny Echeverria. And for Brad Ausmus's Detroit Tigers, leading off will be the center fielder, Rajai Davis. Batting second will be the second baseman, Ian Kinsler. Batting third will be the first baseman, Miguel Cabrera. Batting fourth will be the designated hitter, Victor Martinez. Batting fifth will be the left fielder, J.D. Martinez. Batting sixth will be the right fielder, Torrey Hunter. Batting seventh will be the third baseman, Nick Castellanos. Batting eighth will be the catcher, Alex Avila. And batting ninth will be the shortstop, Eugenio Suarez. So before we head out to Detroit, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Coliseum Sports Network here on YouTube for all the best fictional sports action. Also, be sure to check out the official website, simscoliseum.com, as well as the Sims Coliseum social media channels on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. So it's going to be an overcast night in Detroit. A lot of rain came through yesterday, led to a lot of flooding around the Detroit area. So we hope that everybody in Metro Detroit's going to be all right. I'm back on the call now from now until the final pitch of the Coliseum Baseball Championship Series. Good to be back. Don't go anywhere. Going to have some Coliseum Baseball tournament action coming up on the Coliseum Sports Network. We've now come to the final round. Miami Marlins and the Detroit Tigers from the Motor City. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Detroit. I'm Raymond Sims, back on the call. Like to thank Matt Vasgersian, Steve Lyons, and Eric Carrolls for handling the third round and the end of that. Back at it with some Coliseum baseball. So with baseball comes the lineups, and here's a look at Mike Redmond's Miami Marlins. Talked about the lineup in the pregame show. Just to remind you, it's Yelich, Valdespin, and Stanton, all due up. They'll be taking on Rick Porcello. He's starting in place of Anibal Sanchez. Porcello was slated to be the fifth starter, but with Sanchez out, it's next man up here for Detroit. And it is a must-win situation. That much is true. Winner of this game will move on to take on the Brewers for that second spot in the regional championship. Team that's already clinched a berth out of the winner's bracket. The team that won the first game of the tournament, the Chicago Cubs. Will Detroit eventually join them again? We'll have to find out as we're about ready to go here from Detroit. First pitch from Porcello to Christian Yelich, a two-seamer for ball one, and that's how we're going to get going. Overcast Detroit. Heavy rains in the area leading to flooding throughout the metropolitan area, but we still got baseball. Hopefully it will serve as a distraction for at least a few hours. On ball, one strike here to Christian Yelich. And the kick and delivery. Two-seamer low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Christian Yelich had a heck of a game against Toronto to send them packing. 8-4 victory north of the borders. Yelich, 2 home runs, each in his final 2 at-bats after going 0 for 3. Bringing in a total of 3. And he runs this time around as he's down on strikes. Porcello, after a bit of a rough start in this, going to get the out. Here's a look at the defensive lineup that'll be backing him up. Majestic. Now here is Jordani Valdespin up at the plate for the Marlins. Just sailed high for ball one. Valdespin played in 23 games for the Marlins. He was a mid-season call-up from New Orleans. Bet 229 this year, included in that batting average. He'll line out here to Kindler. That'll be out number 2. And here is the artist formerly known as Mike Giancarlo Stanton. He took off, went yard at the Rogers Center the other night. I think a two-seamer in the dirt. Giancarlo took off on a 2-run home run. He also hit a single and walk. So he finished the day 2 for 4. We were wondering if we were going to see any of that power out of Stanton. If we know he possesses it, that much is true, and we absolutely got to in Toronto. We'll see if we can here in Detroit. This one foul. In terms of regular season numbers, Stanton's hitting .288, has 31 home runs to his name. This one will drop into the glove of J.D. Martinez. A diving catch will lead to a 3-up, 3-down inning. Tigers take their first swings after this. Welcome back to Detroit. Tigers going up on offense for the first time today, and here's a look at Brad Ausmussen's Detroit Tigers. Davis, Kinsler, and Cabrera are all due up. They'll be taking on Jarrett Cosart, who is a new addition to the Miami Marlins pitching staff. He comes over on that trade deadline deal from Houston. The one that also brought Kike Hernandez and a minor leaguer to Miami for Jake Marisnick, who we've seen a couple of times. And here is the defensive lineup presented by Majestic. Outside of Cosart, everybody else we have seen in those very same spots. So not much change, not much turnover in the lineup. If you've been carrying on in the tournament the way the Marlins have, you really don't need to do much else. Same thing for the Tigers. After that Cubs loss, they have bounced back immensely. Which is what you would expect out of an AL pennant contender. Here's Rajay Davis up at the plate. Kick and delivery from Cosart. Davis swings on it. It will line out to Echeverria, 6-3. So let's take a look at Jared Cosart, former Astro, what he has to offer. You see that four-seamer gets up there. That sinker does as well, so that sinker is down there on the list on the repertoire. When we see it, I think it'll be very obvious, very powerful. But in the meantime, here's Ian Kinsler. He's one player of the game in two of the Tigers' victories, or I guess you could say both of the Tigers' victories. I was having a discussion on my show, Raymond Sims Show, Mondays and Fridays here on the Coliseum Sports Network, about who has been the most dominant player of the tournament so far. I went with Albert Pujols, and then Ian Kinsler came along and hit a walk-off home run in a stalemate of a game against Washington here at Comerica. Changeup floats its way in for ball two. Ian Kinsler's production has been a little more steady. In terms of raw numbers, Pujols has put in a little bit more. So in terms of players that are valuable to their team, you better believe Ian Kinsler is up there here in the Coliseum Baseball Tournament. Speaking of valuable players, there's Miguel Cabrera, who's due up next. We'll see if Kinsler can serve as a base runner when Miggy comes up. There is the 3-0. And now it's 4-0. So he will be on base as Kinsler draws the walk with one out here in the bottom of the first. So here is Miguel Cabrera up at the plate, 348 in 2013, 307 in 2014. It's amazing that you can call 307 a down year. Cutter finds its way to inside for ball one. "36 doubles, 17 home runs, 86 RBIs. Another cutter in. Cosart trying to establish the inner half, and he's not done that well here early on against Miguel. Miguel throughout this tournament has been pretty consistent himself. He's definitely been a part of the Tigers' run ever since that loss to the Cubs. At the same time, you always figure that he's on the cusp for more. Kinsler at first, 3-0 count, one out. And another walk on 4 straight pitches. So Cosart struggling to find the zone early against two potent players. So Kinsler walks, Cabrera walks, and now here's Victor Martinez. We'll see if Cosart can find the zone, as he is in a bit of trouble early on. His first pitch. Four-seamer painting the black outside. Umpire will call that a ball. Cutter at the knees for strike one. Jared Cosart comes onto a pitching staff that, well, they really need pitching. They lose their ace, Jose Fernandez, early in the year. They have Henderson Alvarez on the disabled list now as well. So now You're down to your number 1 starting, being the number 3 starters. This one's carrying to right field over the fence and gone. That, my friends, is why the Marlins need pitching. A 3-run shot by Victor Martinez, served up by Jarrett Cosart. What a shot by Victor. And you almost could see it coming in hindsight. I certainly couldn't see it coming. Else I wouldn't be carrying on like I had been without the pitching staff. But considering that Cosart was just struggling to find the zone when he was throwing pitches, he couldn't establish the inside and try to go outside as well. That wasn't working either. So when he finally puts in a pitch, it's going to be lofted. It's going to be in a good spot for a hitter like Victor Martinez to send it. So, right out the gate, it is 3-0 in favor of the Tigers as the other Martinez, JD, is now up to the plate to see if he can contribute more offense. But then again, I'm pretty sure JD would consider Victor the other Martinez. Cutter high, 2 balls, 1 strike. Due up in the next inning, whenever we get there, Casey McGee, Garrett Jones, and Marcell Ozuna, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Miami. They're going to have their work cut out for them. They're going to come back from this 3-0 deficit. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Cosart already 16 pitches into his outing. Delivers the 2-2. JD fouls that one off. 15 home runs for JD. Won't be getting one here. This one rolls to the glove of Echeverria. There's out number 2. So 3 runs score, but are bookended by 6-3 putouts. So here's Torrey Hunter. Also of 15 home runs in 2014 and a .276 average. Curveball drops as it's supposed to. If Hunter doesn't bite, 1 ball, no strikes. Here is the 20th pitch of the inning. It's a cutter for strike 1. Cutter outside for ball 2. Cosart gives up 3 runs off the 3-run shot to right by Victor Martinez. He's just trying to get out of the inning here without giving up much more. He needs 1 more out. Another cutter in there for strike 2. Hunter has been patient. He's kept the bat on his shoulder, but now he is down to his final strike. We'll see if he'll bite on this next pitch. He won't, and he's better for it. Another cutter outside. That is a full count to Torrey Hunter. Payoff pitch. And that's how we'll end the inning. So after giving up 3 runs, Cosart turns things back around and he gets Torrey Hunter looking. So 3-0 heading into the top of the second here on the Coliseum Sports Network. Welcome back to Detroit. The Marlins give up 3 runs, more specifically Jarrett Cosart. So now the Marlins on offense Going to have to chip away at this deficit. First pitch to Casey McGee, two-seamer in there for ball one. Casey McGee comes back to the majors after being in Japan in 2013. He has worked his way into being the everyday third baseman for the Marlins. Pretty good one at that. Team's best hitter in terms of batting average at 306. He has 3 home runs, but he does have 60 RBIs. And he can't get this one past the glove of Cabrera down the first base line, and he's out 3 unassisted. So here is Garrett Jones, who swings at the first pitch. It rolls very weakly on the shift. That's 5-3. Castellanos in the right place at the right time as he was able to pick up the dribbler and throw out Jones with ease. So before we even got to Garrett Jones, here's Marcell Ozuna. I talked about the stats with Casey McGee to lead off the inning, and Ozuna likes to show a little more power, I guess you could say, than McGee. 6-3 for Ozuna. We'll see if he'll express the power here. Looks like he won't. This one popped up in the air. That is Cabrera, who's able to collect out number 3. So another 3-up, 3-down inning for Rick Porcello and the Detroit Tigers. And here is Nick Castellanos, who is responsible for the second out back in the top of the second inning. First pitch, a cutter inside for ball 1. Nick Castro, Miami, the Miami metro area, born in Davie. He's now found his way into the majors after spending most of 2013 about an hour and a half from here in AAA Toledo. While Cosart has been struggling at the plate, that changeup has just been floating its way in. Looked very, very beautiful, but Cosart has not been able to convert that into strikes. Now he's behind 2-0. So the struggles that we saw in the first inning seem to be continuing as he's fallen behind in the count and having to play catch-up. Now here's strike 1, 2-1. And this one popped high into left field. And under it with ease is Chris out of the game. At least for the... So now here's the catcher, Alex Avila. Behind the plate, Avila has been very tremendous as the everyday catcher, or almost everyday catcher for the Tigers, with Brian Holiday kind of filling in at times. It's at the plate that can be a little problematic, as Avila's batting .226 on the year, and you saw his stat line from 2013, and it wasn't much better. This one fouled off. Avila went 0 for 4 with a strikeout in that game against Washington. Then again, there wasn't much offense to begin with. And that pitch hits off of the foot of Avila. So he'll get on base, but not with the bat. It'll be with being hit by a ball. That one's right off the foot. He tried to jump out of the way, but just couldn't, and he's going to be rewarded a base for it. So here is the rookie shortstop, Eugenio Suarez. This one popped up, hooks, foul. Suarez went 1 for 4 against Washington. As I said before, that was a game without a lot of offense. The 2 runs that the Detroit Tigers won by came in the 10th inning. And that was it. Looking for the double play here, 3-6. 3-6 and nothing more. So Suarez now reaches on the fielder's choices. Avila goes down 3-6. You have to wonder if Jones could have possibly gotten the out at first. But on the other side of that, at least play at second, so that keeps a runner at first and out of scoring position as Rajay Davis comes up to the plate. So when you think it through, I guess it was a wise decision there by Garrett Jones. So Suarez replacing Avila at first. 0-1 count. Davis puts this one in the air, and this will drop into the glove of Ozuna for out number 3. So a much better inning for Jared Cosart and the Marlins. They don't give up anything. It's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Marlins after this.
Leading off for the Marlins, catcher, Jared Saltalamacchia.
Here's Jared Saltalamacchia stepping up to the plate. He's been a number of places, and he's forced many a jersey designer to have to squeeze a lot of letters into a confined space on the back. Curveball in there for ball 1 from Rick Porcello to start off the inning. Jared Saltalamacchia comes over, a free agent deal with from the Red Sox. Comes down to the opposite corner of the MLB map. Championship ring in tow. Swings at the 1-1, and it goes right back to Porcello. That is the first out of the top of the 3rd. Now we come to the number 8 man, the designated hitter in this AL Park, Reed Johnson. Two-seamer low for ball 1. In one of the very first videos of this rebranded Coliseum Sports Network, entitled Canada Day versus Tequila Sunrise, it featured the 2005 Toronto Blue Jays, which featured Reed Johnson. Lo and behold, Reed Johnson, even back in that game, which was a MVP Baseball 2005 game, he was stepping up to the plate and he was wearing those high socks. They were monocolored. They weren't stirrups, as you see here. But still, through all these years, Reed Johnson has been at the major league level since 2003. He's always worn those socks. Here's the 2-1. He'll swing on it. It will land into left field, rounded up by J.D. Martinez. And there is the first single of the game, surrendered by Rick Porcello.
Batting ninth, shortstop, Adeni Echeverria.
So here is Adeni Echeverria dealing with man on first. Now dealing with a slider gone awry. First pitch to him is a ball. Two-seamer outside, strike one. Adeni Echeverria is having a much better season at the plate than last year. He dipped to 227 in his same role he has today as an everyday shortstop. Now this year he's batting 273. Despite not hitting a home run yet this season. This one drops into left field, and once again Martinez will round that up. So that will only lead to a single base advancement for both Johnson and Echeverria. It's a single, another one with one out here in the top of the third. Marlins trying to piece together a bit of a comeback as Christian Yelich, he of 2 home runs against the Blue Jays, steps up to the plate. And you can't expect to get it all back in one swing. You can at least try decisions at the plate. Change up low for ball 1 to Yelich. Yelich struck out his first for the first time today. Two-seamer for ball 2. So now Porcello, who was off to a great start, retired the side 3 up, 3 down the first 2 innings. Now he's given up 2 hits. See if he can turn it around here, facing the 2-0 to Yelich as this one's popped up high left field. Martinez chasing it down. He has room, and that will retreat both runners back to their respective bases. So J.D. Martinez here on defense in this particular inning. And with 2 out and 2 men on, here comes the second baseman Valdespin to see if he can contribute to the Miami Marlins cause. Ball 1, pitch just below the knees. Valdespin has been a model citizen for the Marlins, at least in this tournament, trying to remove himself from the bad reputation that he picked up with the Mets. He was drafted by them. Some disagreements there within the clubhouse at the major league level. He's eventually found new life here for the Marlins as this one will carry into right field. Might be too far for the fielders. It is. Drops on the warning track. Bounces against the high wall, and that'll be Echeverria and Johnson coming home. So it is a 2-run double by Jordani Valdespin, the second baseman.
Up next for the Marlins, right fielder, Giancarlo Stanton.
Here's Giancarlo Stanton up to the plate. Now dealing with the base runner, about 120 feet across from him. And only a 1-run deficit. Stanton flew out to left his last time up until Valdespin. All of the other hitters, the last 3 hitters in Johnson, Echeverria, and Yelich, they all found their way into left field. So Valdespin goes the other way into right center. We'll see if Stanton can put one in the air, or if Porcello can sit him down on strikes. That'd be a huge get there. That would end the inning, of course. And Stanton hits this one down the line to Cabrera, and that is out number 3. So 2 runs across the plate for Miami, and they're right back in this, but we'll see if the Tigers can respond in kind. 2, 3, 4 hitter. 2 up after this. Here's Ian Kinsler. He made a plate appearance, but does not have an official at-bat, as he drew a walk his last time up. First pitch, a cutter. That walk was the beginning of a rough inning for Jarred Cosart. He gave up a walk, and a home run. He's calmed down since, at least in the second inning. We'll see what he does in the third. And by calm down, I mean he didn't give up a run. He did go on to hit a batter in the second inning. That was Alex Avila. But relative to giving up 3 runs in an inning, he calmed down. 1-1 count here to Ian Kinsler. Another cutter inside. Kinsler was 1 for 5 with a strikeout in that game against Washington. So that one hit came when it counted. And that's really something to consider when you get into a sport like baseball. That you may have a rough stat line, but if that hit comes at a good time, it can still help your team get the win. Kinsler, however, in that game against Washington, that was a drop strike. Nothing dropped about that one. As Miguel Cabrera comes up to the plate, you notice the wind's above replacement. We've shown it several times throughout this tournament. Don't think you can show it enough, especially when you have to drive home the point of how important a player Miguel Cabrera is. He also, like Kinsler, does not have an official at-bat yet due to the walk. But now that Kinsler's 0 for 1 with a strikeout, I'm sure Cabrera would like the stat line to look a little better. First pitch is a ball, though. Weak hit, actually a bunt. He bunted late, and he pays for it as that one is out 5-3. Take a look at it again. Actually, I don't. Now that I look at the replay, I'm not sure what to make of it. If it was a weak swing or a check swing rather, or if he was supposed to lay down a bunt or not. But either way, he's still out 5-3. And here's Victor Martinez, who hit the 3-run home run. And this is an excuse me swing. I could tell by that one. And that is now 4-3. So indecisive Tigers lead to a 3-up, 3-down inning, including a strikeout and 2 groundouts. And now the Marlins have a chance to come back in the top of the 4th.
Leading off for Miami, third baseman, number 9.
Casey McGee back up at the plate. He grounded to Miguel Cabrera his last time up, which is how he ended the 3rd inning as well. Giancarlo Stanton did the same thing. Two-seamer in there, strikes 2. Porcello getting ahead in the count. And McGee hits this one, rounded up by Suarez, and that'll be an easy 6-3 putout to lead off the 4th inning. So we take a look at the pitch speed comparison. 97 miles per hour is where Cosart is topped out at, which is just amazing. Porcello going a little bit steadier. So he's been around 92 miles per hour. So here's Garrett Jones back up at the plate. He swung on the first pitch and grounded out his last time up. He swings at the first pitch the second time around. He grounds out again. And as before, Brad Ausmus decides to put the shift on him. Ausmus looks at Jones as a pull hitter. Usually he is. Jones tried to beat the shift by going opposite, but he still pretty much grounds into the back end of that shift. And as he did last time, he grounds out to third. So here's Marcell Ozuna, who popped up his last time up. He didn't swing on the first pitch, I don't recall, but he did swing pretty early in the count. We'll see if he can be a little more patient this time. 2-1 count here to Ozuna, looking to keep the inning alive. Doesn't want another 3 up, 3 down, especially after the Marlins were able to pick up 2 runs in the previous inning. This one put in play, but rounded up by Kinsler. No, it's not. He tried to pick it up and he couldn't, and he loses control of it. That might be a base hit in the eyes of the scorer, especially since we're here in Detroit and it was by a Tiger. But here it could also be an E4. Tried to round it up and just couldn't. I guess you could say it ate him up, but we'll get word from the score soon enough. In the meantime, inning stays alive with 2 outs and a man on first. Here's Jared Saltalamacchia, grounded out to the pitcher his last time up, and that is an E4 that Ozuna reaches on. Saltalamacchia pops this one up in the air, and Rajai Davis, who has a lot of range as a center fielder, is able to get the out pretty easily. But despite a man on base, Marlins still come up with nothing. It is 3-2 heading into the bottom of the 4th. Victor Martinez is 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs on the day. Here's J.D. Martinez, who's 0 for 1 so far after grounding out to short. Well, looks like he has a home run too. That one is gone into left field as he takes off on the first pitch he sees. Mercy. That was a no-doubter. That was beautiful. And as J.D. Martinez steps on home plate, it is now 4-2 in favor of the Tigers. Let's take a look at this on a replay. He already knew it. And it was pretty clear. That one was staying fair and that one was staying gone. 412 feet, according to the tape measure presented by Majestic. Amazing. That's the type of power that outside of the Washington game that we have seen from this team. We saw how they disposed of Pittsburgh. We saw that even though they lost, they were able to generate offense against the Cubs. They were even able to pull it off out there against the Nationals. Just took a while. Sinker in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another sinker in there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jared Cosart going to look to recover from that leadoff home run. That's really all you can do. Can't take those runs back. Once they cross the plate, they cross the plate. Hunter puts this one in play, drops into center field, rounded up by Ozuna, and that is a single. I was going to say a specific out type of single, but there are no outs yet. Martinez hit a home run to lead off the inning, and Hunter is now on with the start. He's at 49 pitches through 3 official innings of work. Here's Nick Castellanos. That is his 6th, 4th inning. This one drops, but rounded up by Saltalamacchia, as he has shown great skill at doing. Castellano reaches at a pitch that looked like it was just sailing high. So that is a strike. And there it is, first 2 outs off the double play. Castellanos tried to battle, but in the end he grounds into a double play, and that will clear the bases. So here's Alex Avila. He also does not have an official at bat, as he was hit by pitches last time up. This one goes low in the other direction, 1 ball, no strike. Cutter outside, 2-0 count. Coming up in the next inning, Reed Johnson, Echeverria, the shortstop, and Kristen Yelich, all due up. It's been Johnson and Echeverria, one of the 2 few players to generate any offense here. Let's see if they can do it again in the top of the 5th. In the meantime, the Tigers going to look to add on more after J.D. Martinez goes yard to left field to start off this inning. This one popped up, and it will bloop its way into center field. So the inning will go on as Avila will record an official at bat, and he'll get a hit out of it. So out comes the pitching coach for the Miami Marlins. So they have a lot to talk about. Cosart, in his new uniform, has not been doing well here in this game, especially such a crucial game that would mean elimination if they lose. First pitch here to Eugenio Suarez, who reached on a fielder's choice. Was able to leg out and prevent the back end of a double play. Swings and misses on the cutter on ball one strike. Suarez started the game against Washington after Andrew Romine was originally slated. It was a last-minute change before the game started. And now Suarez is starting in this game, no doubt about that, as that one's misplayed by Ozuna. That one was right on the glove of Marcell Ozuna, and it pops out. Oh, we got to look at this one on replay. This one misplayed badly. You got to close the glove on that once it gets into your hand. And so the inning will continue. Oh, this is the inning that never ends. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Started with the home run, not knowing what it was. We just kept on playing it because the Marlins have struggled both on defense and at the mound. As expected, that's an E8. So Avila's now on second. Suarez is at first with 2 outs. Davis up. Rajai Davis was eventually going to make his way into the tournament at some point, but he was thrusted into the starting center fielder position with Austin Jackson going off to Seattle in that big deal that brought back David Price. David Price came in. He started that game against Pittsburgh, and that was just a wire-to-wire effort, both on offense and defense. So with Rajai Davis doing so well out in center, and David Price, who came here to take care of business on the plate in his start, it's been a win-win for Detroit. So finally the inning ends, but not without another run on the board for the Tigers. They're up 4.
Leading off for Miami, designated hitter, Reed Johnson.
One out, Cabrera on first. Victor Martinez is now ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. So Cosart still struggling here in the bottom of the 5th, 75 pitches in. This one popped back. You have to wonder if the Martinezes compete against each other, especially when they're back-to-back in the lineup like this. Cabrera's going for it, but it looks like that would have been part of a hit and run. Both Martinezes 1 for 2 with a home run. And this one popped up and rounded up by Saltalamacchia for out number 2. So Cabrera still advances to second. So now here's JD. And he'll pop this one over Garrett Jones. And that'll move Cabrera to third. Stanton makes the wise decision to throw home just in case Cabrera tried to leg it out. He doesn't. But it's a 2-out single. And here comes Torrey Hunter. Four to 2. Hunter's looking to bat in a run. Take a changeup in there for a strike. Runners on the corners. Cabrera at third. JD Martinez at first. Here's the pitch. Another changeup. Ball 1. Hunter able to foul that one off. He's able to get another one off. So while Hunter hasn't been able to put anything in play, he's still running up that pitch count for Cosart, which is already very high. Gets another one. That's 85 pitches now for Jared Cosart. Deuce is wild here. 2 count, 2 outs. And Hunter fouls this off, so we'll do it again with 2 runners on. So that completes the whole Deuce's thing. And the Tigers ahead too. This one rounded up by Echeverria. And the force out is second. So the Marlins still able to get out of the inning, but now giving up a run. They're down 4 to 2 heading into the top of the 6th.
Leading off for the Marlins, second baseman, Jordani Valdespin.
3 up, 3 down inning back in the 5th. There's Jordani Valdespin to see if he can generate some more offense. hit a 2-run or 2 RBI double back in the third. This one's hit weakly, grounded to third. Castellanos able to get the out just in time. Here's Giancarlo Stanton. Lined out to left field, first time up. And then grounded out to first, his second time up. Slider drops in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Stanton manages to foul that one off. Appeal to first. Did not go. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Giancarlo Stanton. And he has to move out of the way. Runs the count full. Casey McGee up next. He's grounded out twice. Rick Porcello carrying along at a much easier rate than Jarrett Cosart. Hasn't been perfect. He's given up 2 runs back in the third, but for the most part, he's done fairly well. He gets Stanton to pop up. Castellanos is under it. That's out number 2. Take a look at the pitch distribution. Literally half of his pitches at the 2-seam. Here's Casey McGee. We'll see what Porcello will bring out of the repertoire if McGee can figure it out. First pitch he sees, he swings on it, and it veers just foul. The 0-1. Doesn't take. It's better for it. Curveball outside, ball 2. Swing and a miss. That's 2 strikes. So another 2-all situation. Casey McGee's looking to keep the inning alive. Porcello will strike him out soon. So 2-5 and a half. The Marlins have gotten close. A swing and a miss.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Marlins.
Cosart's had a very rough time today here in Detroit, so his day is done, and that will bring up A.J. Ramos. Here's Nick Castellanos to start off things here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch he sees, gets it just over the glove of McGee, and that will roll up against the back of the wall, and that'll be extra bases as Castellanos slides in for a double, his first hit of the game. Just because it's a new pitcher doesn't mean things have gotten easier as the Tigers are able to put down another hit. First pitch, a four-seamer for ball one. So Ramos' first two pitches, first one was put in play, second one's a ball. We'll see if this 1-0 pitch will be a strike. Nope, curveball. Lands outside, ball two. There's the strike on the fourth pitch. Himself on the outer half. Let's see if Ramos can replicate that. Not this time around, at least 3 balls, 1 strike. Castellanos on second. No outs here as we start off the bottom of the 6th. Alex Avila looking to get his second hit of the game. He singled back in the 4th. 3-1 in there. Avila will take his base. Base given to him for the second time today after being hit by a pitch his first time up. So here's Eugenio Suarez, who has reached base twice, but neither time has been a hit or been labeled a hit. First time he reached on a fielder's choice. He was able to leg out the back end of a double play. And then the second time was on an E8, which should have been a fly out to Ozuna. Just dropped out of his glove. We'll see if he can move the runners here. No outs, 2 on. Swing and a miss after he reaches on the fastball outside. Overcast skies here in Detroit, but we fall deeper into the night. This time last night, torrential rains hitting the Detroit area. But here it's cloudy, but very dry. Almost getting another ball, feeling like the last one. So we'll see. That will help him retire a batter. He's already in trouble 2 batters in. Gave up a double to one and walked the other. Two balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Kick and delivery. In the dirt. Castellanos stays at second. Now we have a full count here to Suarez. And this one will pop up once again to Ozuna. Will it fall in his glove? He calls off everybody and he's got it. So there's the first out of the inning. Here's Rajay Davis coming back up to the plate. He's flown out to center twice. Grounded out his first time up. Ooh, broken bat, and that one veers foul, despite the diving attempt by Garrett Jones. Puts this one in play, bounces right in front of Ozuna. So everybody's going to move 90 feet, and the bases are now loaded with 1 out. First hit of the game for Davis. And you see where it is according to Show Track. up and in. Davis has done very well against Marlins pitchers. He's been making contact and hitting it straight in the center. It's just a matter of finding a good place for it to land, and he does the 4th time up. So here's Ian Kinsler dealing with a bases loaded situation. As we get into this later junction of the tournament, I do want to keep pointing out when we have bases loaded situations, we have yet to see a grand slam in this tournament. Something like a grand slam would bust this game absurdly open. 1 out, bases loaded to Kinsler, who's behind 0-2. Holds off on that pitch, and now it's 1-2. This one, line down the third base side, foul. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Kinsler. That one lines down the third base side. So now Kinsler running up the pitch count for A.J. Ramos. Breaking ball dips. Swung on by Kinsler. Ian's looking to survive this duel here against A.J. Ramos. Foul another one off. And another one. 22 pitches total here for Ramos. I couldn't even tell you how many in this at bat. Here's the 1-2 again. This one put in play. This will drop, and that's going to be more than one coming home. As Kinsler's picking up extra bases, and he's going to bring them all home. It's a bases clearing double. 3 RBIs for Ian Kinsler. And it is now 7-2 in favor of the Tigers. So that'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. We'll still have to go without our grand slam for now. But Cabrera can still bring home Kinsler, who's in scoring position at second with 1 out. Cabrera only has 1 official at bat where he grounded to third. Otherwise, he's walked twice. That was against Cosart. We'll see what Ramos does. He's already thrown 25 pitches. He's 1/3 of an inning into his outing. 3 balls, no strikes. And this one put in play. And that'll only be enough to move Kinsler to third. But it helps, as Cabrera is on with a single. So that'll do it for A.J. Ramos, who, as I said before, only goes a third of an inning after giving up almost 30 pitches. So Sam Dyson's going to come out and see if he can get the last 2 outs. But it has just not been the Marlins' day. First pitch that Victor sees, and he grounds into a double play to end the inning. So there it is. Dyson comes in, throws 1 pitch, gets the 2 out just like that. But the Tigers still come up with 3, and they lead 7-2.
Leading off for the Marlins, first baseman, Garrett Jones.
There's Garrett Jones up at the plate for Miami, who has fallen further behind. Three runs given up in the bottom of the 6th. Slider inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Porcello not quite showing the same stuff he has for the first 6 innings, at least not early on here against Garrett Jones, who has grounded to third, or to the third baseman twice. You can't quite say he grounded to third, since the third baseman was shifted almost over into the gap. But Jones gonna see if he can beat the shift, and he doesn't have to, so never mind. Leadoff walk here for Rick Porcello. And for Garrett Jones. So here's Marcell Ozuna. He committed an error back in the 4th, but was able to back in the 4th as well. Nothing ever came of that, however, as the batter after him flew out to center. One, 6, 3, double play. So we won't get anything here either. Jones gets on with the walk, and all that goodwill is erased off the double play. Good job by Porcello. Field that ball, however. Now here is Jared Saltalamacchia, dealing with 2 outs and empty bases. If he gets on, Reed Johnson's due up next. This one hit down the line. It veered foul, but it was still picked up by Hunter for out number 3. So it's time for the 7th inning stretch, people. The Tigers are looking pretty good, 7-2. JD Martinez leading things off here against Sam Dyson, who in one pitch was able to get 2 outs. Now Dyson's going to have to put in just a little bit more work than that as he takes on JD Martinez to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Two balls, 2 strikes here to Martinez. Full count now to JD. Is it a home run? And he's single. He's going to look to pile on some more hits here. Puts this one in play, rounded up by Jones, though. 3 unassisted for out number 1. So here's Torrey Hunter that was able to pick up the last out. He was able to track it down and in that little sliver of foul territory down the first base line. Now he pops this one really high into center field. Ozuna's able to play it easily for out number 2. So here's Nick Castellanos. Got his first hit of the game back in the 6th, a double. He eventually came home on another double by Ian Kinsler. Four-seamer up there for ball 1. Castellanos also hit a single in his last at bat against the Nationals, but he was eventually caught stealing. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Can't get him to chase on the 1-2 pitch, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. We could be on the verge of our first 3-up, 3-down inning since the 3rd. The rest of the innings have pretty much been chaos, but Sam Dyson, first Marlins pitcher to come in, pitched fairly well. As I say that, he throws another ball to run the count full. It's a payoff pitch from Dyson. Fouled off. Well, Dyson is pitching relatively well for the rest of the Marlins staff. It might be too little too late, especially because the pitcher can't generate runs, only prevent them. And today, the Marlins have only been able to muster up 2 runs back in the third. Going to need a huge comeback. They want to get this win. With Dyson helping the cause, striking out Castellanos' swing, or looking rather. But the Marlins looking at defeat if they don't get some offense quick. They're down 7-2.
Leading off for Miami, designated hitter.
Reed Johnson, the designated hitter, stepping up to the plate. He got that single in the third. And that's been it so far. Alex Avila in the next inning will lead off. That'll be his 4th at bat. This is Johnson's 3rd here in the top of the 8th. Porcello has only made his way up to 84 pitches. As you know, 100 tends to be the magic number in how far past it you go. Really depends. As Reed Johnson sails this one to left field, and that one will drop over the fence. So another home run. But this time for the Marlins is Reed Johnson. First time in the tournament. And any little bit helps. But the Marlins, as Johnson will cross the plate, still down 7-3. Reed Johnson, well, to be quite frank, found a pitch right down the middle, right in the sweet spot. Regardless of how much power you possess as a player, you got to take advantage. So here's a Danny Echeverria, who, speaking of home runs, has yet to hit one all season. But as I said before, he has greatly improved his batting average. So you have to at least appreciate that. He's still able to get on base. Just won't bring the power for you. Well, that's all right sometimes. Like I said before, 100 about the magic number for pitchers these days. And Porcello is just now possibly skirting it here in the top of the 8th. See how much further he has to go. We've only seen one complete game all tournament. Now it's by R.A. Dickey against the Pirates. Echeverria cannot put this one in play. Fouls that one off. And this one lined out to Suarez. Didn't even have to move, just in the right place at the right time for out number 1. I know fielders like that. They're just standing in their normal spots and just, they don't have to go to the ball comes to them. A lot less pressure. Though, of course, when you have a ball coming back at you, you need to be quick on your feet. But there's a reason these guys play at the major league level, so that's not a problem. We restart the lineup here for the 3rd time today. But here's Yelich for the 4th time today. Struck out his first time up, fouls this one off here, and now it's a 1-1 count. Two-seamer outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Full count now to Kristen Yelich. Porcello has 1 out and empty bases, and he's going to look to retire Yelich here. This one just fouled off. Quite a few souvenirs that way today. And with the fairly sparse crowd, understandable due to the weather, I'm sure there's plenty of fans that may have more than one baseball to take home with them, as Yelich will reach on a walk. So as I said before, but now he's pushing up on 100. He has 96 pitches, 7 1/3 innings. So Brad Ausmus thinks that's going to be more than enough here. Gave up a home run and a walk here in the 8th inning. But all in all, it has been a heck of a game for Rick Porcello, who, mind you, is stepping in as the number 4 man for Anibal Sanchez. So here's the former New York Yankee, Jabba Chamberlain. He's going to be tasked with closing out this inning. We'll see how much further Brad Ausmus would want him to go if he does, considering that we are not currently in a safe situation as it is 7-3. Here in the top of the 8th. Here's Jordany Valdespin. Fouls this one back. Valdespin is 1 for 3 today with 2 RBIs off of that 1 hit. That was a double. Otherwise, he's grounded out. Grounded out to 3rd, and he's grounded out to 2nd. He has Yelich on 1st.
1 and 2.
Kind of funny on that last pitch, Chamberlain with his delivery by design just shows a lot of might, especially for a big lumbering man such as himself, and yet it was a changeup in the high 70s. We'll see what it'll bring here on the 1-2. That's that one back. Four-seamer in there, full count. Oh, Valdespin chases a pitch outside. He would have been taking his base, but he gets a little too overzealous, and that's out number 2. So first batter Jabba Chamberlain faces, he sits him down. Much better situation than what happened in the first game against the Cubs when Chamberlain came in, was tasked with holding things down and was not able to even get an out. But he gets an out in style as he strikes out Valdespin here. 0 for 3 today, swing and a miss on the fastball. You already know Stanton's looking to swing away. Four-seamer up there, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Four-seamer veers low and outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the slider in there. And Stanton's going to go down looking. So Jabba Chamberlain comes in and takes care of business, picking up where Porcello left off. After a Reed Johnson home run, it's now 7-3 heading into the bottom of the 8th.
Leading off for the Tigers,
Alex Avila leading things off here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He was hit by a pitch. He walked, and he also has a single, so he's technically 1 for 1 on the evening. First pitch he takes from Sam Dyson, a ball outside. Dyson has yet to give up a hit in this game. He came in the 6th with a runner on. And on the first pitch he threw, was able to get Victor Martinez to ground into a double play. 2 outs on 1 pitch. Always good, but especially when it happens to close out an inning. And he went 3 up and 3 down in the 7th, including a strikeout to Nick Castellanos. He's going to see if he can continue things here as we head into the later innings. He's ahead in the count 1-2. This one, fouled off. Another one fouled off. Four-seamer, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and Avila goes down on strikes. So Dyson ends the 7th with a strikeout. And starts the 8th with a strikeout. Here's a look at the pitching comparison. And at the end of the day, the numbers look about the same, but the big difference is that Cosart put up those numbers in a shorter span of time. That has been the Marlins' undoing, as they are down by 4 runs. First pitch to Eugenio Suarez is a ball. This one fouled off.
Nope, that's foul.
So we looked at the starter comparison as it stands. At this juncture, it tends to look to remain this way, regardless of what else happens down the line. Porcello would get the win. Cosart would get the loss. Nothing to parse there. Suarez, it's a pitch that was right down the middle, but fouls it off. Swung a little too early. The 2-2 from Dyson. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3 for Sam Dyson. 2 straight here in this inning. 3 consecutive. So Dyson has come in and gotten better as the inning has gone on. Davis gets the 2-seamer inside. That one fouled off. This one hit, veers foul and drops. And that one a foul tip. 3 strikeouts. Dyson. And if we saw this type of pitching performance earlier, we probably wouldn't be in this situation. 7-3 heading into the top of the ninth.
Leading off for Miami, third baseman,
Marlins
number 9.
down to their final 3 outs. Looking to advance in this tournament. If they lose here, if they can't get anything going here, that is the end of the road for them. Their first loss coming on a walk-off in Milwaukee. They've been in the losers bracket ever since, but they've looked pretty good. In the span of all of that, we're able to take care of the White Sox in Chicago and then just dismantled the Blue Jays. But now they are on the other end today. Only lost by 1 in the bottom of the ninth, and that one loss, they're down by 4 here in the top of the ninth. Jabba Chamberlain going to look to close things out. Might as well. It's not a safe situation. No need to bring out your closer. 2-1 count. Swing and a miss from McGee. McGee's 0 for 3 today, including a strikeout his last time up way back in the 6th. 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he will end his night with another strikeout. Look here at all 3 of the strikes. They were all equally handsome. So here's Garrett Jones, 0 for 2 today. He walked back in the 7th inning, but that's as much as he's gotten on base. Brad Ausmus will once again call for that shift that has worked so well today. Brad Ausmus shifting, expecting Jones to pull. On 2 occasions, he didn't. He went opposite field, but right to the glove of Castellanos, both occasions. He walked his last time up. This one will drop in front of the glove of Davis, and it is only a single, so the shift still is effective because it prevents extra bases. That usually would have been in the gap. So Jones going to look to see if he can keep the Marlins alive. Here's Marcell Ozuna, who is also 0 for 3 today.
Center fielder, Marcell Ozuna.
Reached on an error not his last time up, back in the 4th. But so when Jones got on with that walk in the 7th, it was pretty much, all that goodwill was pretty much erased. Ozell going to try to do better this. But if this result holds with the Marlins' loss and a Tigers' win, what it came down to really was pitching. Just a rough outing for Jarred Cosart, and you have those sometimes. Sometimes they come at crucial moments. Ramos wasn't much better. Gave up 3 more runs in a third of an inning. And then Sam Dyson comes in and just pitches shutdown base. Another double play that Ozuna has grounded out into, and that is it. That is the ball game. So the Tigers have been able to pull through. Ever since that loss to the Cubs, they have been dominating. The Tigers are trying to work their way back into the regional championship. But when you play baseball the way that these guys did today, you usually tend to come out with the W. Let's look at the summary. What a game it was. All Tigers all the way here at home. Porcello with the win, Cosart with the loss. Now we will present to you the top player of the game. And it's Victor Martinez, that 3-run home run. And that most definitely put the dent in things for the Tigers. And that got the offense going. That was way back in the first inning. 3 of the Tigers' eventual 7 runs. Victor Martinez going yard. Helps the Tigers advance. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, that the Tigers will host the Milwaukee Brewers for a right into the regional championship game. That will do it for this presentation of the Coliseum Baseball Tournament on the Coliseum Sports Network. Be sure to check out simscoliseum.com. Like this video and subscribe to the Coliseum Sports Network on YouTube. Follow Coliseum on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. Tigers win 7-3. I'm Raymond Sims. Thank you for watching.
Here now is our final line score tonight. First for the victorious Tigers, 7 runs.